Every day, Tionu waits holding on to that fragile hope, deep in her heart, that one day a beautiful wedding will finally happen when Truong comes back. But sadness and loneliness still linger wrapping around her soul like a thick fog that never fades. Since the day Truong disappeared, she's cried until no tears were left. Still within that gentle heart, a small flame of hope continues to burn. She believes that somewhere out there Truong is doing everything he can to return to her. And someday, a miracle will happen. They'll hold hands again, smiling beneath the soft lights of the wedding they once dreamed of. Tianu's story isn't over yet. Stay tuned for what happens next. And if you believe in the magic of love, don't forget to subscribe, and support the channel to join us on this emotional journey. Tianu woke up to a gloomy morning. Soft light filtered through the cracks of the window, but it couldn't chase away the emptiness inside her. Since the day Truong went missing, every morning had become a challenge, a moment where she had to face her loneliness, her endless worry, and the ache of missing him. Her eyes drifted toward the distance, as if she could somehow see Truong's figure appear in the quiet, empty space. Memories of him flooded back his smile, his gentle eyes, the promises he made about the wedding he swore he'd come back for. That hollow feeling surrounded her, pressing down until she had to fight back the tears, refusing to let them fall and break her spirit during those endless days of waiting. Despite the pain, Tianu knew she couldn't give up. Truong was somewhere out there facing danger, and she couldn't blame him for that. Every tear, every moment of longing had turned into determination. Deep inside her, the hope of his return still burned quietly. She told herself she would stay strong, keep waiting, and continue searching for him no matter how many obstacles or hardships lay ahead. But life went on, and her responsibility to Dewey, the little boy who depended on her, didn't allow her to fall apart. Tianu stood up and got ready for another day. Her heart was heavy with worry, but her hands stayed steady, tending carefully to every small task. She reminded herself that no matter how much she missed Truong, she had to keep going to take care of Dewey and to protect the hope and dreams she and Truong once shared. Even when she went to the market, Tianu couldn't shake the image of Truong from her mind. The busy crowd, the calls of the vendors, the sound of laughter and chatter, all of it felt like background noise compared to the steady beat of her heart, where Truong's presence still lived. She carefully picked fresh melons, arranging them neatly in her basket, reminding herself that every bit of money she earned today was for Dewey to keep their lives going while Truong was gone. Every simple action carried both worry and hope, turning each moment into something tense and fragile. Tianu thought back to the promises Truong once made their wedding, their shared future, the quiet but complete happiness they dreamed of. Each memory was both a comfort and a pain that deepened her longing. Whether she was cutting melons, setting up her stall, or smiling at customers, her thoughts always circled back to him. No matter how tired she felt, she refused to break down. She knew that hope was the only thing keeping her strong, the bridge between her lonely present and the happy future she and Truong once imagined. Every second, every minute that passed was filled with longing and worry, yet Tianu kept moving forward. She understood that Truong's absence wasn't just a loss. It was a test of her patience, her determination, and the depth of her love for him. Each morning, she reminded herself to be stronger, to keep trying to wait for the day Truong would return. and to make sure Dui never felt abandoned. That belief was the flame lighting her path, helping her overcome the pain and loneliness, and keeping the light of hope alive through all the long days of waiting. When she arrived at the market, Tionu laid out her basket of melons, carefully arranging each one by size and ripeness. She wiped her hands and took a deep breath, but her mind never strayed far from the thought of Truong. Every time a customer came to buy a melon, she greeted them with a gentle smile, handed over the fruit, took the money, and then her eyes wandered again, scanning the crowd. She searched for any clue, any sign that Truong might appear, or that someone might have seen him. The anticipation inside her stretched out every moment, making even the simplest actions feel heavy with tension. Still, her daily work had to go on. Tionu sold her melons, carefully counting every coin to make sure Dui had enough to eat, clean clothes, and school supplies. Every melon sold, every bit of money earned, was proof of her strength and determination. In her heart, Truong's image was always there. He was the reason she kept going, the force that stopped her from collapsing under life's weight. She often paused to look at the small photo of Truong she kept hidden in her pocket. She thought about the moments they shared, the promises they made, the wedding Truong vowed to hold once he came back. Those memories hurt, but they also strengthened her resolve. No matter where he was, no matter how hard things got, she would never give up. Every day at the market, Tionu worked tirelessly while living with the ache of longing. The passing crowd, the eyes of her customers, all became a reflection of her worries and hopes. She reminded herself that even if Truong was far away, even if there was still no sign of him, she would keep going, keep waiting, and keep that small flame of hope alive in her heart. Even as the afternoon light turned golden and fell softly over the melons, Tionu stayed at her stall, never resting. She sold each melon with quiet purpose, tying her hopes to every coin she earned while holding on to her memories of Truong. Each passing minute carried both fear and longing, but she refused to let them dull her determination. Her heart stayed with Truong, praying for his safety, dreaming of the day he would come back to her and Dui. In those rare moments of rest, Tionu would watch the crowd, imagining Truong walking among them, or someone approaching her with news of him. That fragile hope was her light, just bright enough to keep her moving, to keep her strong. Every melon, every step, every glance around the market was proof of her perseverance, her vow to find Truong, protect Dui, and hold on to the belief that the wedding he once promised would someday come true. Even so, life didn't allow her to stand still for long. Dui was waiting at home. He needed food care, and every expense depended on the money she made from selling melons. Tionu felt the weight pressing down on her. She had to earn a living, take care of Dui, and still hold on to hope for Truong. She told herself that every drop of sweat, every bit of effort mattered, that every step she took was a way to keep Dui's life going and to keep the light of hope burning in her own heart. As she stood still for a moment in the middle of the market, memories of Truong came flooding back, their laughter, their talks about the future, and the plans they once made for their wedding. Those memories were both comforting and painful, filling her with warmth and heartbreak all at once. The unfinished house Truong had started building often appeared in her mind, a reminder of their love and the promises that remained incomplete. She sighed softly, holding the photo in her hand, her eyes scanning the crowd, hoping that somehow a miracle might happen. Even during her rare moments of rest, Chiu Nu kept watching the people around her, studying every face, every small movement, praying that someone, anyone, might bring news of Truong. Her hope, though fragile, burned fiercely like a small flame that refused to die strong enough to keep her standing through all the loneliness and worry. Though she was tired and her heart ached, she knew she couldn't stop, because Truong was still everything to her, and Dewey still needed her to be strong. As the afternoon faded and the soft golden light shone through the tin roof, Chiu Nu gathered the remaining melons, handed the last few to her customers, and slowly walked out of the market. Her heart was heavy and tense, every step toward home carrying the quiet hope that Truong might return. She knew the pain and longing would follow her through the days ahead, but the belief that one day Truong would appear again, and that the wedding they once dreamed of would finally come true, was what gave her the strength to keep going.